Doing it live. All right. This is Star Trek Europa, and I am your host once again for the, fifth time we've tried to start the session tonight. You can find me online at studiotembo.com, as well as many other places that you'll be able to link to from there. Let's go ahead and introduce everybody and then jump right in. Brian, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Brian. I'm playing Captain Jorad H, and you can't find me anywhere.
Don't look. Evelyn.
I'm Evelyn Corbin. I'm playing Dr. Desave Onayet. You can find me at the corner of insanity and why am I still awake?
Yes, many residents of this location. Jack, go ahead.
Hello, yes, I am Jack. I play Commander Irani Ambrose, amongst other characters, and you can find me all over the internet, actually, because I, as well, do some streaming every now and then, 4 or 5 times a week. Most notably, every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern over on my own channel, twitch.tv/The People's Ascension, where I run a Dungeons & Dragons actual play series. So if you like politics and intrigue and character consequences and you want some fantasy to go with this sci-fi, head over there on Saturdays, and even throughout the week I do all kinds of fun hangouts throughout the week, so you can find me there, and also Twitter, and I do have a Discord linked on my channel. It's all over there. Go and take a look after this. Anyway, I am excited to play this game because we got a lot of fun stuff planned.
Yes
we do.
As a preface to before we get into the action, next week we will definitely be off because I will be in a state that does not have Wi-Fi. So I'm sure it does,
no,
but
we're in the whole state.
Where we're going to be does definitely not have Wi-Fi. So
they have nothing but guns and horses.
Yes, and caves, big caves. So.
And caves.
Yes. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's jump right in. We were going to do a scene in our 10 forward lounge, which is actually I think on deck 4, but whatever. And that was going to be starring, let me get the room up here first. Whatever, I don't know. And that was going to be Jisa, right?
Uh-huh.
Jisa. And who else did we want to have there?
We can put Mills there.
Okay.
And then she wasn't really part of the last episode. O'Connor would probably really not be found in the forward lounge.
Sure. Brian, did you have anybody you wanted to be there?
Yeah, I think Delphine would be fun.
Delphine. All right. I will let you guys get started. In the last session, I believe that there was some Starfighter shenaniganry. I think that was going to make people happy. So.
Okay. Well, I don't know if this was necessarily a planned event, so the lounge is probably a fairly typical lounge at this point until the fighter wing gets all out of the fighter craft and out of all their gear and whatnot, and the 6 of them, I believe, led by Shijin, come strutting in like a flight wing, all maverick and everything, laughing and like pushing each other and all kinds of gossip.
No shirts, aviator glasses, volleyballs.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah. Shijin's gonna walk in with the other 5 of them. Is just be like, did you guys see that? Teketh, I wanted Dorian Ales in everyone's hand. Let's go.
He nods and begins pouring rapidly.
Looks around to see who else is here.
Delphine is there. She turns around on her stool. You seem like you're in a good mood.
Yeah, she slaps one of the other pilots on the shoulder and kind of pushes him towards some other group of people, and she makes her way over to Delphine et al. Yeah. Whew. Where were you for all that?
There were a couple casualties that needed to be taken care of.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
nobody
heard about
died,
like
of course.
That. Yeah. Well, I mean, plenty of people died, just not here.
Just none of us.
Yeah. Which is good. Yeah. No. Whew, did you do they have windows in sickbay? I don't think I've ever been.
No.
No, that's a shame. That's a shame. You missed a show.
It's generally not a good idea to put sick people in where there are windows.
When you come over, Mills is sitting in a chair with her feet up on another chair. She plants her feet back down and kicks the chair out a little bit for you.
She'll sit down.
So you got to tell us what happened.
Okay. It was great. It was great. Me and Ambrose talked because apparently Hage was just blanking. I mean, I don't know the story, but he was just in his chair, just. Anyway, we were stuck in this cloud. I'm sure you noticed the cloud. I'm sure you noticed the cloud, and the cloud was gonna go boom. We can't have that. And if we crept out, there were 3 Klingon ships out there. What were they? Cavort? Something like that. The big ones.
Mm-hmm.
The big ones that probably should have blown up this ship. But it wasn't the ship that came out first. It was me and my boys. Didn't expect that.
Nice.
You don't look as impressed as I expect. Right. Where were you?
We were roaming the halls. Well, patrolling. Just in case the Klingons did what the Klingons like to do.
Right.
Transport them to the ship.
Not a lot of windows there either. You put on a Starburst show and nobody sees it. That's really disappointing. You know that maneuver was banned in Starfleet? I don't know the last time anyone pulled that off without one of the pilots blowing up. It's a good show.
Impressive.
Very impressive.
Yeah, you have to fly wing to wing in a circle with like this much space between you. And then just as you break apart, you open up your plasma valves, throw out a whole bunch of plasma, ignite it, and scramble. The Klingons had no idea what was going on.
It's one hell of a fire show.
It was completely distorted their sensors. The Europa came out and bam. Man, I would have liked to see Kargan's face. Smug bastard.
Well, we'll have to send that off to the flight academy. Maybe they'll want to study it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mentioned that maneuver was banned, right?
Yes, but if you came through with no casualties, then I'm surprised you haven't gotten written up. If it's
well, I'd hate to have Starfleet use me as the benchmark. We'd have way fewer cadets coming out.
Captain's log, stardate 49536.2. We've been moving. After the rescue of a Starfleet transport ship, it seems that the Klingons have stepped up their efforts, and worse yet, it seems like there may be 2 groups of Klingons we need to worry about. I've asked the crew to redouble our information gathering efforts. Hopefully we can find out something about these Klingons and what they might be after.
Okay. before we get to that, let's go to Dr. Onayet
Okay.
in sickbay. And any other characters who want to be in sickbay, obviously. But last session, you got your hands on some.
I got some dead Klingons.
Dead Klingons that you were going to do some researching, quote unquote,
Nice.
researching on.
Quote unquote. That makes things sound a whole lot more nefarious than they really are.
All right, so you've got the Klingons. They look pretty much normal. Again, they had the couple of them had cybernetic enhancements. Not all of them appear to.
Okay.
They all are genetically modified in some way, although the genetic modifications are different depending on the Klingon. Give me. I'm not gonna. I was gonna do this as an extended task originally, but that was last episode. So we're gonna this time we're just gonna do a normal roll. Your difficulty is gonna be 3. And I will then give you a ton of information. Actually, I'm going to make the difficulty lower just because I want to get the information out there. And again, an extended task would have given you more opportunities to do stuff. So let's go ahead and say the difficulty is going to be 1. This is taking you several days to get this autopsy done. You've got your whole team working with you, so you have the resources necessary to do this.
Okay. I presume my focus in xenobiology would come into play here.
Yes.
That is not helpful. I mean, it's a success, but still.
I can't roll for the ship because the sheet doesn't work right. All right. I will just roll 1 die for the ship instead. That needs to go over there. All right. The ship does not help.
Be one of those games again.
Yeah.
Right.
Was anyone else assisting? Did you have any other PCs that wanted to assist?
I would pull Delphine in.
I don't think she's great with cadavers. She's not a mortician, but
I mean, neither am I, but
if you ask for her help, she'd help.
Yeah.
Do our modular laboratories apply as well?
It would apply, yes. The ship's modular laboratories. Also, the focus of internal medicine would apply.
she will not getting as far as she wants. She's staring at this cadaver, not really making heads or tails of what she's like, seeing something odd, not really processing fully what it is. She'll cross her arms and sigh and activate the EMH begrudgingly.
Let's have Delphine go ahead and roll first, and then I'll have the doctor show.
Okay.
I have to find my Robert Picardo voice real quick.
And attitude, most importantly.
Yeah. A 12. Does Delphine succeed on a 12?
If it's a medicine roll, yes.
Okay. It is. So.
I mean, it could be science. So
no, that's true. But no, this is medicine, and internal medicine applies. So if it was under it, which it's not,
but yeah, if it's reason science, it would. Yeah, she'd be fine.
Okay. You guys are going through, and you're sorting through your paperwork, and you cross your you cross your arms. You almost said eyes. I almost said eyes. You cross your arms and call for the EMH, and he appears. Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
It's not an emergency. I just need some insight.
If it's not an emergency, then I am not the proper protocol. Then this is not the proper protocol. How can I help you, doctor?
She points and gestures at the Klingon. So we have this group of Klingons that has been genetically modified. Some of them have been cybernetically enhanced with what appear to be Borg or Borg-like technology. Each of these Klingons is modified in a different fashion. And I am having some difficulty seeing the pattern. I need a more pragmatic mind.
Of course, a more refined eye. I understand, Doctor. Starts looking over
I'm
your
down
paper.
a Vulcan.
Yeah, down a Vulcan.
No, I said I'm down a Vulcan.
Yeah. So he starts looking over your paperwork and looks at your other things like that, and accesses the databases that he has access to, which are far more extensive than the same ones you have access to, but he can do it faster.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to allow me to re-roll. I will use it to re-roll the ship, which then is now a 9. That's success. So you have 3 successes total, which is 2 momentum. And I will tell you things, and then you can ask additional questions.
Okay.
And the doctor will be assisting you. So the DNA that you find, the tech appears to be Borg, Klingon, some derivative of Romulan, of advanced Romulan technology, as well as, again, you knew this earlier, an unknown technology that the doctor helps you identify as possibly Iconian.
Mm.
When getting into the cellular reconstruction of these Klingons, the doctor will help you understand that it is clearly a genetic modification post-birth. They are not cloned. They are modified after birth, which is not an unusual way to do things. The Federation is capable of doing that, although it's illegal. And again, the modifications appear to be of an unknown sequence.
Origin sequence.
Yes, an unknown origin sequence. Again, something similar to those to what we found in descendants of Iconian civilization, of the Iconian civilization. Okay. So it is possibly Iconian. You have 2 questions.
All right. Remind Evelyn of 2 things. 1, have we dealt with Iconians in Europa, or am I thinking of Lax? And 2, remind me what the Iconians are.
We have not. I know that we have not really dealt with Iconians. We've talked a little bit about Iconians.
Okay.
They were
an advanced culture that is extinct, right?
Yeah, several 100,000 years old.
Yeah.
Around 200,000 years ago, they were a civilization that essentially created an empire through the use of what other civilizations called essentially magic. They could travel vast distances in short periods of time. They were eventually wiped out by, it is believed, a coalition of other worlds that came to basically just destroy them and do away with them. But you've probably not studied the Iconians particularly deeply. Picard, being someone who looked into the civilization quite a bit, still didn't know a ton about them. So.
Okay.
Till he found that gate.
Till he found a gate, literally found a gate, which is information that the doctor probably would not have.
Yeah. There was a Romulan who was all Iconian conspiracy theorist back on DS9.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember their name. I'm looking back through my notes, but
are you talking the one that came aboard the ship?
No.
There was a scientist, archaeologist, whoever they may have been. I don't remember who they talked to. I think it was either you or Cass, actually.
I think it was Cass.
I think it was Cass.
It was Cass.
Yeah.
Dr. Telefero.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Possible Iconian artifacts found in the expanse, possibly relating to local disturbances and missing ships.
Right.
Cass didn't believe him.
Right.
Or her, whoever they were.
Them. Did not believe
Maybe
them.
we should
Sure.
have.
So yeah, that's the information you got.
Okay.
You got, those are not questions. Those are
there we go.
clarifications for you. So you still have 2 questions if
Yes.
you want them. Otherwise, we can bank those.
Are there, of these, you said that there are different mods for different Klingons. Is there a identifiable grouping? Like, are we looking at certain groupings of Klingons have mods to enhance strength. Certain ones have mods to make them more tanky, to make them more intelligent, analytical, things like that.
Right. Not from what you can tell. What you can tell is that it appears to be the older Klingons, some of the older Klingons anyways, appear to have less advanced cybernetics, and some of their genetic enhancements are not as refined. Whereas the younger Klingons that and the ones that have what you can tell is more recent surgeries are much more advanced, and the genetic refinement is much more precise. Right? It is almost rivaling on, and the later ones, it's almost rivaling on Federation level, like medicine, which is not a Klingon trait.
Okay.
And in a lot of cases, it's actually you can see evidence of theories that Starfleet doesn't ever touch on because of the moral implications, but you can see the level of advancement that's happening here is extremely rapid. Whoever's doing this is no slouch.
Okay.
You have one more, or you can make it.
Define, what do you make of this?
It doesn't seem. One assumption I can make is that these would require pretty extensive medical facilities to do this much conversion on as many Klingons as they have. There must be some source or that's my best guess. I'm no scientist.
The brain.
Start out stories the mysteries. It's good for the brain.
The God damn, why can't I think of the word I want? We had found a station, basically, or something to that effect, a while back that looked like it was creating new Klingon tech, but we were thinking new ships, right? Is it possible? Would that area have had the capacity to do this stuff as well? Or are we looking at another?
I'm not sure. I remember there being a station that was producing Klingon tech. You've discovered new Klingon tech.
I don't think it was a station.
Okay. There was definitely a secret location, and we were headed towards it when Klingon stopped us. But I don't think we ever saw what exactly was there. We just knew that they were protecting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't necessarily have that information. But based on the technology that you guys have seen in these new Klingon ships, what little you've seen of them, someone is making rapid advancements, and they have the technology and capability of producing advanced warships, which means they probably have advanced medical facilities. Okay. So, all right. Anything else, or are you done with that?
I think.
Can we identify the Klingon? Like, is he on Starfleet records or anything like that?
Sure. Why not? I don't have a name, but yes, they're known to the Federation. Members of the Varnak family, or whatever they called that family before. I have that number here. The Varnak clan. Pretty much all the ones you've got here are Varnak.
Okay.
There's a couple of Duros, and one actually would have been. You'd have quite a few who wouldn't be identified, but you'd have one that would actually be formerly of the House of Martok.
Okay.
So when was the last time these Klingons were known to be in Klingon space? Those Klingons of war?
During the The most recent would have been during the Dominion War. The farthest back would have been during the Klingon Civil War. Just that happened just before. It wasn't the Klingon Civil War. It was the Klingon War with the Cardassians right before the before the Dominion War. So within the last 6 years.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, if they can make these extensive of changes in people that quickly, they could have an army built in no time. All they would need is more Klingons.
Which is very disconcerting. Also so for my clarification, Kargan is aligned with Duros, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Kargan's aligned with the throne of the Emperor, to be specific.
Right, which currently is Duras.
Presently Duras.
Yes. That is a good distinction, though, because he did clarify.
It could be a broom with googly eyes, and he'd follow it if it's on the throne.
Right.
What was the reason he wasn't acknowledging Martok? I know we brought it up to him.
The sword of
Is it
Kalas.
because Duras has the sword? Yeah.
Yep. Because the sword of Kalas is, the rightful ruler of Kronos and all that stuff. Although you will note that he has done Kargan has not been super aggressive against either the Federation or the Martok faction. When he has been aggressive, it's been decisive, but he has not been.
I mean, he was aggressive against us. He 100% attacked us.
But he also had you outnumbered and everything else.
Well, that doesn't make him less aggressive.
No. I'm just saying. He's no General Stonewall Jackson kind of aggressive. We're talking more like Meade. If you know anything about Civil War history.
No. Not at all.
Not super aggressive, but when he is, he's quite effective and decisive. And he makes decisive victories.
You blow up one of his ships.
Yes, and then he's like, I can do this tomorrow.
Yep.
I think that is all I have. We can go ahead and bank that. Last one.
Yeah, I can't think of anything either.
All right. You guys have anything else you want to discuss there, or we jump forward? We left off with Define and Desavi in sickbay, but let's jump back into Tong sleeping in his room.
Oh no!
Yeah. You've been on shift for quite a while. You've been working pretty hard. There's a lot of repairs being done. I'm not going to count the breaches we've pretty much repaired since the last session. Europa's high priority, so we've gotten the repairs done. And you've been working at getting the last things done, and you've gone to bed what feels like 10, 15 minutes ago, although it's probably been several hours. When you are woken to a chirping sound from your communicators coming out of from your comm panel next to your bed.
Yeah, no, Tong's gonna shoot straight up. Just what was panel? Boop. Yes.
Ensign Tong. It is the voice of Eva. I hate to disturb you while you are taking a regenerative rest. However, I have come across an anomalous log. I've come across an error in the log system. There is an anomalous entry, and I cannot identify it.
Right. Have you spoken to literally anybody? You know I'm an ensign, right?
Yes. However, it is a simple log error, and I did not feel it was necessary to take to the attention of the chief engineer. Plus, we've had an excellent working relationship recently.
Right. Yes. Okay. I'll take a look at it.
Excellent. I simply want to make sure that it is not something on my end before I bring it up to anyone's attention.
So I guess we're heading to the core, the big computer room.
Okay.
Or is that something I can? Is that something Tom can access from? I mean, he's an ensign. He's probably in a room with like 2 or 3 other people, right? He
Yeah,
doesn't have his own
they're
quarters.
bunks.
Yeah.
They're definitely bunk. You could head to the main computer access area, or to the main library access, which is where all the stuff with
Right.
is normally
Yeah.
done. We'll see Cass's room again. You head down there. I'm guessing having some kind of Ferengi coffee, some kind of caffeinated snail juice.
Nice refreshing snail juice. Mm-hmm.
When you get there, Eva has brought up the logs in question. There's quite a bit of information. Clearly, Eva has been going through. When she says the logs, she appears to have been going through every log the ship makes on every system, including personal logs, the captain's logs, the duty punch-ins, everything. Like, she has been checking every log in the ship. And you see that she brings up there appears to be a time-stamped log that is deleted. The timestamp is there, but the log entry is not there. And it is in the minor log system. So it's not in a typical log that anybody would check. You can go ahead and give me an engineering roll if you'd like to get more information.
Okay. Step 1, check the recycling bin.
Right.
Format
drive. Yes.
Tom.
Sorry.
Let's see. What do you want here?
This is going to be reason and engineering.
Reason engineering.
I would also take security something if you wanted to go that route.
No, we'll go reason engineering. Sure.
Difficulty is going to be 1.
Okay. Well, let's just roll this and see what happens. That's the one I needed.
Okay. So you find, after doing a little digging, because the log is listed as general, it takes a little time, but you find that it appears to be an erased communications log that has been sent through a non-communication subsystem.
Yes, this is an unusual place to find a log entry, especially deleted log entry.
I suspected as much. I have no record of any transmissions being sent.
Well, it does look like it was rerouted through some unusual systems. Perhaps we could trace back the power and see if any of those systems have a redundant memory of what that was. Maybe not get the whole message, but maybe be able to reconstruct parts of it.
Excellent thinking. I will begin. We should begin work. And we're going to go ahead and, as you guys begin typing and doing your research, we're going to step aside from that for a moment. Come back to that plot. Minimize. In the meantime, Mr. Hage on the bridge. Who I need to find. There we go. And then let's do bridge, right? That's brig, not bridge. Main bridge. There we go.
Hage in
Mr.
the
Hage
brig.
in the
Mr.
brig.
Hague in the brig with the candlestick.
Ambrose is taken over. It's a mutiny. Captain's locked in the brig. We're going back to DS9.
Let's see. Yeah, DS9. Going all the way back, damn it. So
They're back. They're back.
you
Sorry, continue.
You receive a message from Starfleet, and it is Admiral Jaro Aralani, which is funny because I didn't realize Arani, not anyway. Aralani, Captain. I'm glad to see you're doing well. We've got a recent report of a humanitarian of a mutagenic outbreak on the Dinasia System, and we need to send the Europa to offer as whatever aid is possible.
Sounds serious. Helmsman, lock her in.
We have some indication that the Klingons have been in the area, so please keep your eyes open.
Oh, don't worry. We've got the best sensors in the quadrant. Well, if there's a Klingon here, we'll find them.
Excellent.
And we'll make sure that they can't hurt anybody.
Excellent. Keep me informed. Good luck.
Thank you, Admiral. I will send a message to Ambrose to keep him updated. And then I'm assuming he's off duty or, trading off shifts or something. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Laying a course for the Dinasia System. It's Dinasia. Dinasia System. I don't know how to pronounce that, but
Dinasia.
Yeah.
Dinasia. Dinasia.
Yeah, that fine sounds right. So the Dinasia System.
And he said there was some sort of outbreak.
Mutagenic
Correct.
outbreak.
Mutagenic outbreak. Gotcha.
Correct. An outbreak of some mutagenic agent.
Well, I'll send a report to Dr. Oniat, of course, because I'm sure she's going to prep to deal with that.
Yep. Which brings us to a good time to, if we'd like, unless someone else has something they want to do first. I know Oniat wanted to have a meeting with Ambrose and the captain to discuss her current findings, and then if you guys want to do that now, we can have all that discussion go on.
We can have a senior officer meeting, and we can talk both.
Yeah, I think with this mutagenic agent, especially given the that was stolen, this is a perfect time to have that conversation.
That biomimetic gel.
Yes, thank you.
So
that was
let's
the
go ahead
I was trying to remember the call.
Yes, the who's-its. So we'll have a senior staff meeting in the ready room, or in that room right there that I just posted the picture of. Kostra would technically be there, although I don't think he's going to talk much.
But he's there.
Let's see. I can't find Ambrose. There he is. Ambrosius? Who else? Who else we want there?
I think O'Connor.
Okay.
Oh yes, that's right. Because you're making her be all in charge and crap.
Yeah, temporarily in charge of whatever position she's in charge of.
Science. We just don't have a science officer.
Yeah.
Yep.
By all technicalities, then you should also have Chirka,
Yeah,
since we are co-sciencing.
Yeah. Let's just have all of our characters in this.
I would say if we're having the heads or potential heads of the departments, then Mills should probably be there. Mills and Cope. Right? Are we Mills and Cope? Right?
Ambrose is the chief
everybody's
tactical
there.
officer in addition to EXO, so he's head of that department.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to have Mills and Cope.
No.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any reason to have Chirka either.
Well, they are kind of co-chairing that position.
Well,
I think it's only Ambrose would point out it's only fair that they both get representation until we pick one.
Right. Well, they talk or
O'Connor
not.
will agree to take some of the heat off of her.
Yeah.
They share bridge duty, but I think O'Connor's technically the one who's in charge of that pair. She has seniority.
Okay.
No.
This is Chirka's first assignment, so
Well, they're both ensigns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both ensigns and both fresh out of academy.
Yeah, I think they're in the same. They're like neck and neck in every way. That's why Ambrose was like, well, just put them on the same seat and we'll see what happens.
Right. Either way, she doesn't have to say anything. She just be there to be informed.
Doesn't need to be.
Like I don't see Coster saying much in this scene either. So
I'm gonna be out of character honest. I really don't want her to be there.
Okay.
Okay.
It's we'll just say that it's during the duty shift of O'Connor at the moment. So
it's just that I don't like her being in a senior officer briefing because like I'm trying to do a straight line between
right
the senior officer trill and the lower decks trill, and having her in that meeting is like I don't
blurring the line a little bit.
Unless it's to dress her down. I don't see any reason for I would prefer her not to be there.
Okay. So with that in mind, you guys have your meeting, and there's a lot to discuss so far.
Yes.
Oh, Tong is not there. Go away, Tong. Tong
Oh,
are busy.
poor Tong, go away.
Go away, Tong.
Captain, I found it. Wait. I'll get back to you later. Doesn't
Definitely something
involve
to
me.
bring to their attention at some point. But.
Yes. How far is the Dinasian, Dinabulan, wherever this went? Where'd this go?
Dinasian.
Dinasian. Yeah, the Dinasian system. How far is that from where we just were with the Klingons? Where the Breckenridge was?
I think the more apt question might be how long is it going to be until we get there?
Mm-mm.
No? How far?
So I'm asking out of character because I want to know if it's feasible for the Klingons to have gotten the mutagenic gel from the Breckenridge and already be over in the Dinasian system,
Right.
releasing whatever mutagenic whatever they are releasing, or if these are two separate events.
So looking at the map, it's not it's not real clear, but
Because it's very small.
let's see. Also, they don't appear to be showing up. So, can you see my cursor? You can't, can you?
Nope. No, it's too small. Is this under?
It's in the images under Shackleton vicinity.
Okay.
I can share it with you guys. I'm pretty sure.
I got it.
There you go. You'll see that section where it's the Klingon tendril rolling into Federation space. You'll see the Tyrelia system.
Yep.
And then you'll see the other system that's little tiny next to it. That's the other
Oh,
system.
there it is. Okay.
This is one low res map you got.
I know.
It
I
kind
have
of
a
is a
much
little
higher
bit.
res version, but let's see. That's the
It's not a big
It's
deal
okay.
at the moment.
It works.
Yeah. I do have a better one. Here we go.
That beige squiggle says Dinasia.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
got it.
There. Here's a much better version of the map.
Okay. Oh, hey.
Yes,
hello.
there we go. All right.
That is much better. Okay, and so we are in the Tyrelia system. Is that correct?
Not anymore.
No.
You are.
That's where we were.
You're in this vicinity thereof.
Okay. So this is definitely close enough that this could be our Klingons, who have stolen the gel and done whatever nefarious things and have now released it into the Dinasian system.
It's possible, although you'll recall that the captain of the Breckenridge told you that their chief medical officer was using that gel to try to find a solution to a mutagenic virus that was in that he was aware of. So
Right.
It's possible that it's all that. Yes, it's possible.
Okay. So, but it is also possible that this is the virus that they were working on.
It's possible. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. I got you.
All right. Close that. Close. I said close. Close again.
Oh God.
All right. So with that in mind, you guys are in your rooms or in your conference room. Oh, and you disconnected.
That didn't help. Nope. I was trying to close the map that didn't want to close, and I just closed all the fantasy grounds.
Terrible.
And I'm done with this game. Table flip.
Well, as some of you may know, we've gotten a new objective from the Admiralty. We're to proceed to the
Dinasia.
Dinasian
Dinasia.
system.
This is why I wish we had a list.
Yeah.
But we're headed to the Dinasia system in order to get a handle on a mutagenic virus that's running rampant there. The admirals think that Klingons might be involved, so we're going to be keeping our eyes open. We've blooded their nose, but I don't think they're going to stay gone for long.
No. Speaking of, we have made some interesting discoveries with the Klingons we acquired from the Breckenridge. It would appear The tech is a combination of Borg, Klingon, Advanced Romulan, and possibly Iconian.
Boy, a real casserole dish of nightmares there.
Right. It also appears the Klingons that attacked the Breckenridge were from Varnak, Duros, and some formerly of House Martok, which makes me wonder, was Kargan being dishonest when he claimed to know nothing of the Klingons within the nebula, or is he being intentionally kept in the dark?
I think the latter is more likely.
And can we use that to our advantage? Can we turn Kargan and his men to our side if we bring that to light?
We already pointed out to him that there were other Klingons involved in this, and it didn't seem to faze him much.
But at the time, we didn't know the identity of those other Klingons. If he knows, or at least highly suspects, that he is being actively deceived, or at least actively kept uninformed and out of the plan,
I don't think he would care. Not unless we can prove that this other Klingon faction is working against the Empire. That is all he cares about.
And even then, if as long as they have the sword, he's bitterly loyal, unfortunately. So make sure and save the autopsy results as a data packet, so that way we can send it to him.
Certainly,
if necessary. But till then, let's assume he's going to fight tooth and nail.
At best, if we wanted to use this information strategically, giving it to him could cause him to stick his nose in places where his superiors might not want it to be. And that could tie him up for a little bit, but it could also go plenty of other ways. Before we dwell too much on this, Doctor, have you set up the proper quarantine measures for Borg components on this ship? We don't need them interfacing with EVA, or any of our personnel for that matter.
Fair
we need
point.
Type 1 force fields. We need ejectable sections of the ship. We need to get those components in the most secure position on this ship. I have seen a piece of Borg tech no bigger than a paperclip take over a vessel.
I completely agree. Make sure you, as chief of security, make sure that the ship is secure.
I'll see to it. Mills, take a team down to the med bay. Keep an eye on the dead Klingons.
Yes, sir.
Keep your distance.
And also make sure we have quarantine facilities set up for this mutagenic virus, in case we need to get people on board.
Yes, the team is already working on that.
Okay, great. Have you dealt with a mutagenic virus before? Do you have any idea what to expect?
Each virus is different, but yes, I've dealt with my fair share of viruses.
We should contact the hospital ship we rescued and see if they have any information on what they were combating. It could be related.
I had requested their records. I will comb through. I've been focusing on their records on the Klingons, but I will shift focus and comb through. And if they haven't sent sufficient information on the virus that they were working on, I'll contact the Breckenridge.
It's a good idea. Well, were there any other preparations for either issues anybody wanted to raise?
What is our mission here in the Dinasia system? We're not a hospital ship, and we're rather small. We don't have the facilities for a treatment center.
Like any Starfleet vessel, we're arrayed for a wide variety of tasks, and medical support is definitely one of them. We can have people on the ground, we can help as best we can, and we can evacuate anybody who needs to be evacuated. We're not a hospital ship. Our facilities might not be as comprehensive, but I believe we can manage.
No, but with depending on what they're needing help with, if they are looking for help with a vaccine or a cure, EVA's capabilities are likely far superior to anything they're working with.
It's pretty typical for Starfleet ships to be able to set up quarantines and humanitarian centers, food, and that kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of things the ship can do.
Yeah. Not to mention, given what happened at the Breckenridge, I think sending a hospital ship might be a bad idea.
Right. I do think we need to be looking at the modifications made to these Klingons and what modifications we are going to need to make to combat them. The Breckenridge said that even their highest phaser settings, they were having extreme difficulty taking these Klingons down. They could not stun them, and they could kill them, but only at their highest settings.
It wasn't the highest settings, but it was higher than normal.
Higher than normal.
The highest settings blow holes in,
Oh, wow.
stone, so you can vaporize them. You haven't been able to find a way. They weren't able to find a way to stun them, and they had to set them on much higher than normal kill settings.
Okay.
In your analysis, did you read any particular weakness? If not, we just might have to keep our phasers on a high setting.
Not as of yet, but we are still combing through the research. It will take some days before we've put everything together. This is just the initial report.
Is it possible that it would be more effective to target their mechanical components? Take those out, confuse them, disable limbs.
Not a bad
sensors.
idea. We can disrupt the electronics.
You should also cross-reference what your findings with Starfleet Medical. Unfortunately, the Federation is a bit behind in genetic augmentation research. What with the war a few hundred years ago at this point.
Well, and the technology being used with these Klingons is technology the Federation is too ethical to use. We have knowledge of it, but it's not tech that the good guys use.
I know we said one issue is going to be making sure our phasers are high enough, but I do think our first priority should be taking some alive so we can try and figure out where they're coming from.
If we can figure out a way to do that without sacrificing the crew or risking the ship, certainly. But from the reports for the Breckenridge, these Klingons are scientifically minded. They were accessing computer terminals. They were accessing systems and pulling information.
Right. All the more reason I think getting one alive would be advantageous. We could interrogate them. And see what you can do about coming up with an advanced stun setting. Something that wouldn't kill them, but would be more powerful than a standard stun setting. That way we might be able to capture them alive.
I will put the science team on that.
I'm sure security can help with that either. I believe we have a armory officer on board, even if they're holographic. Might be worth talking to them.
Yes.
We'd have to put their electronic components through their paces, though that has its own security concerns in my mind, but Klingons are hardy enough as it is, redundant organs and all of that. It may be easier to simply disable their electronics. We should also check if any of this Borg tech or whatever other advancements they have are capable of moving through force fields. or creating regenerative force fields of their own.
Do we have any reports of that?
Well,
Yeah, no.
they were Borg.
They had Borg components. That's not the same thing as being Borg.
True.
There are no reports of adaptive shielding, which we should consider a boon.
Yes.
But
Give it time.
yeah, let's make sure and we put a stop to this mad science before they get to that point.
Before you give the GM excellent ideas.
All right. Well, Dr. Oniet, if you could arrange an away team to deal with the virus, and Mr. Ambrose, if you could get together a team to search for Klingons aboard the Europa. That way we don't get bushwhacked while we're doing it. I think that might be our best plan.
Sounds
Very good.
All right.
Jeffrey, is there a reason I'm looking at Tyrellian system information here?
I'm adding notes as we go. That way you guys can have a list. That's kind of what Brian was asking for. I can't organize it as well as it's organized on Roll20, but I can start adding information that way so you guys have it in Fantasy
No, that's fine.
Grounds.
I just looked over. That was the pause, the processing pause for a second there. Because I looked over, I'm like, is this a thing I need? No, this is not a thing I need to know for this conversation.
No.
So,
no.
Okay.
And I added one for the Dinasia system as well, and I'll try to add that stuff in as we go, so you can have it. Again, it's not going to be as easy to organize as it is on Fantasy Grounds, but on
Roll20.
Roll20.
Yeah.
That's a thing that there might be a package I can download. Something. In fact, I know there is one. I'll work on that between sessions, a way to have this stuff more accessible so that you guys can see everything that we've gone through and just access it like a Wikipedia kind of thing in Fantasy Grounds. Because I know there is one, I just don't use it. It's I have it installed in my other games, but I just never use it. So I'll put some time into that. Sure. On that note, let's go back to Tong. Not Stefine. That's not Tong. That's Onat, not Tong. Tong is over here. I moved Tong out of the way so that he wouldn't get in the way of things. And then I forgot where I put him.
Tong's always getting in the way.
Poor Tong.
Always underfoot.
Kind of his thing. All right. So you have discovered that there was a communication log entry. Actually, a logged non-communication log, essentially. But you were trying to figure out where the power you wanted to trace the power system to figure out if you could figure out where it had come from, right?
Right. I wanted to trace the power back to any other systems that the message, we don't know it's a message, but the message may have been redirected to see if there was any log from that system that might be able to pick up, the computing, the binary or whatever we use in space fantasy land to reconstruct at least parts of the message.
Right. All right. Give me. I'm going to say the difficulty for this is going to be 2, because it is. That it would be 3, but because Eva is assisting you, the difficulty is 2, and it's her systems, so she can do what she wants. Yeah, make it reason and engineering.
Reason engineering. Would my focus in electroplasma power systems come into play here?
Yes, I'll allow it.
Okay.
Since you're basically trying to trace the energy signature. Eva does not assist.
Okay, you said difficulty 2.
Difficulty is 2, and you have 1 momentum. I have too many systems in my head at the moment. Is there a way other than spending that momentum to bump this at all? I don't think there is. The only other way to do it would be to use determination, which I don't think Tong can currently do.
Tong does have a value.
Does he?
Yes, I used the milestone to give him a value.
Rules is written, support characters do not get determination. So unless we're...
I think that was in the homebrew section.
Was it? Okay.
Well, you tell me, Jeff.
Otherwise, once you guys have values, I have no
values.
problem with you using them.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as the value applies, I don't really have a... The answer was supposed to be that as these characters become more advanced, they start to flesh out like people. So if you've got them with values and stuff, I don't have a problem with having determination. All characters start with 3 determination. You gain 1 determination per episode for a maximum of 3. You can earn an extra point of determination, which can go above and beyond or normal for a maximum of 4. You can only gain this additional 1 by completing logs, which no one's done in quite a while. I need to get back to those. If every member of the crew does have a between the session activity log, then we start with additional momentum, but that hasn't happened. So supporting characters, once you have, basically the way I had it intended anyways, is once you've got a value they can use, they have the 3 determination just like everybody else would. Okay. So yes, you can do that.
So I gave Tong the value. I have to do everything to live up to the confidence others have in me. In this light, I think that is proving to Eva that he's the right person for her to have contacted for this. So he's going to buckle down as hard as he can to show off for Eva.
Okay.
So what does that do for me?
Being able to spend a determination allows you to basically, it's as if you rolled an additional die, because it counts towards your total maximum number of dice. But it is as if it had rolled a 1 naturally, so it counts as 2 successes.
Okay, that's actually really powerful.
It's extremely powerful.
Yeah. Do I want to use this on right now for this plot? That might blow this entirely open.
Just use it.
All right, let's go.
All right. Tong had 1 success. Oh wait, here you go. This is your roll, right? Yeah.
Here's
nice.
My roll. Yeah. Okay. So that's 4 successes plus the 2 from the determination. That's 6 successes.
6 total successes. Excellent. You're gonna bank some of these because you're not gonna get everything out of that. It takes you a lot longer than you would have thought. But you do manage to dig out that the power signature, there appears to have been a power surge around the time of this log, and with the timestamp of this log, that came from deck. Give me 1 second. Came from deck 1.
Isn't deck 1 the bridge?
Deck 1 is on this ship. It is the bridge, the captain's ready room, the officer's briefing room, the multi-use offices, forward lounge, escape pods, aft bridge airlock, and upper sensor platform.
Well, it's obviously the captain's ready room.
Clearly.
Did it.
There may be some other things there, but mostly it's on the Luna classes. It is a multi-function deck, unlike other. The bridge is, if I recall correctly, the bridge is separated as part of deck 1. So you'd probably be able to narrow that down more with the number of successes that you have. Let's close that. So if you look at the Europa bridge, or the Europa ship, the deck is kind of lowered in there a little bit. So, or the bridge, I mean, is kind of lowered in there a little bit. For once, they actually kind of protected it a little, just a smidge. But with that number of successes, I'm going to say that you can also determine that it came from one of the aft replicator systems on that deck near the multi-use offices. From one of the near one of those rooms, and at one of the what do they call them, the hall lounges, the corridor lounges, which are these things here, which have replicators in them, and comm systems and everything else. But it came from one of those. You can actually locate which one it came from.
Okay. So I think at this point, Tom gets pretty excited. This is a puzzle that he is putting together quite well. He's like, replicators. You know what replicators are really, really close to? Transporter pads. And you know, Eva, the amount of information that goes through a transporter pad is most logs, most other things are infinitesimal compared to that. So the amount of power required to send really almost any signal through replicator or transporter pad would be very specific. We might be able to narrow this down even more.
Excellent. At this time, I have no record of any personnel in that vicinity during the time of this log.
Right. Well, that's unusual. The power system seems to stop here. Are you sure your sensors are working?
I cannot rule out a malfunction.
I'll take a look at the sensors in that lounge.
Okay. Gonna head to the lounge then.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll come back to that. Minimize that and minimize the tongue. All right. Anybody else have anything else they want to do before we get headed towards or get to the Dinasia system?
I think this might be a good opportunity to have that Ambrose Chirka scene we were talking about last time, because I think she'd be a good pick for the Search for Klingon team.
Okay.
I think we should all have one character on each team, just so that way everybody's in a plot.
Sure. All right. If that works for Ambrose, I will go ahead and have you guys in wherever you're having the conversation, which will probably be Ambrose's office, which I don't think I have a thing for, but
yeah, he would have a security office, which I don't think we've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't think I built that set.
Yeah.
we actually have a couple times. It's come up, but yeah, we can.
It's come up, yeah, but I'm thinking in the show, like I don't remember ever seeing Worf having his own office or anything like that.
Oh yeah, no, in the show, no,
Yeah.
It's never been in there.
But yeah, we've established that there's a security office somewhere.
Sure.
Okay, so remind me, because I'm not sure we really went into specifics of what you wanted from this conversation.
Yeah, I wanted we've been talking about how she's doing you said that you wanted to talk to her about like getting her tactical training so that way she participated more in the away teams, and then also with that big space battle we had, I rolled pretty well on getting that one exposed the weakness scan for weakness roll, and which
was an unordered roll. She was not told to do that, so it was something she was doing kind of by going above and beyond sort of deal.
Right.
Yeah, and I just thought it might be interesting if you acknowledged that she did well and that somebody talked to her about that.
Right.
But I mean, if you don't think he would, then I'm not gonna force it.
No, he would. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm getting from point A to point B. The space battle to now I'm talking to Chierka. And I think we don't really need to bring it up. But
sure, if you don't think it needs to be brought up, then
no, I was going to finish my thought, but you seem to have something you were going to say.
No, go ahead.
But we don't need, what I was saying, we don't necessarily need to bring it up, but I think Ambrose would go to the captain and be like, we hit well above what this ship should be capable of. We should assemble the crew in one of the cargo bays or something and give a rousing speech and the whole, you did a great job, yada, 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 yada. And then break off into, congratulating specific people on specific jobs, if you think that's something that Paige would do.
Yeah, I think it is. So yeah.
Because I assume that we learn of this obviously post battle from. Would Cherka write that in a log herself, or would that be Eva being like, "Hey, this was a lot easier. I guess it was from this terminal. Oh, look at that."
I mean, I think it would come through in the after action reports. Like he would have seen that suddenly the targeting sensor showed in a big red circle saying weak spot right here.
Yeah, but he'd have to go through the logs and really do like an investigation of who did that. She's not coming forward and be like, "Hey, I did this for you."
No, I don't think she would. But.
Okay.
No, but if Ambrose is going through the logs, I'm assuming that he'd see that and probably Eva be able to point out to him this is where this rather than having to dig through it, just be like, "Hey Eva, where did this report come from?" And she'd be like, "It came from here."
Right.
No.
Okay.
Sensor pod station 4A.
Right. With the access clearance code was Chirka. I'm tracking the comm badge of Chirka was in this area, kind of thing. Like these are things that Eva does pretty regularly, as Tong is now finding out.
Yeah, if that's the case, I don't think Ambrose would make a whole spectacle of calling her down to his office, because I think he understands that Cherka would get a very "I'm being called to the principal's office" sort of
vibe,
mindscape from that vibe. Yeah, so I think he will strategically walk in to the lounge whenever she's off duty, or wherever Cherka might spend off duty time.
Okay.
Oh. I guess we could just do the lounge. He'd
I like that. It's catch her really off guard.
Yeah. It seems weird to ambush her on her off time. But
I
like it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think the best thing to do would be for him to assign her to the team to search for the Klingons, and then just mention, have it come up during that. Because if she's going to be working with him directly, you could just be. It doesn't have to be a whole thing. It could just be hey, by the way,
hey,
okay.
Since I noticed you did this thing, I think
Sure.
your insight or ingenuity or whatever would be helpful on this mission.
I don't want to force this. This doesn't really seem like something you're into. So
I'm just trying to set the scene. I'm just trying to get Ambrose in the headspace and figure out where we're doing it, why, and how it's going to go.
I like the idea of it being in the lounge, like, and you can take it how you want, and just basically you want to work in that you're going to send around whatever mission you're going to send around for this particular adventure, and address how you want to address it from there. But I like the idea of catching her in the lounge, because it gives to me it does two things. One, it makes her way more uncomfortable, which is always fun, and it shows that Ambrose is trying to be a human. Which is a rare occurrence in itself. So I like that.
Sure. I think she's actually distant from most of the other people in the lounge. I think she's like back in one of the corners on like.
You okay? What was that?
With this chair. It just suddenly the thing pops out every so often. It's really annoying.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she'd be in like the back corner, like reading on a data pad, not really talking to anybody.
Sitting on one of those comfy couches there in the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Let me. Could I ask Jeff that when you set up pictures, if you could throw them over to us?
Yeah.
If that's something you can do. Just because it helps me visualize the scene.
Yeah, I normally do that, but I was figuring you guys weren't using the software as much. But if you're doing it, I can absolutely do that every time.
Yeah.
I just watch your screen.
Yeah, that's what I figured you were doing. So
it's just so small on my Zoom. I have it
That's
on
fair.
a secondary monitor that's smaller than my main.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I use 3 monitors at the moment. But yeah, no, I can do that. That's not hard.
Show off.
I know. These aren't even my good screens. My good screens are upstairs in my other setup. Nerd.
Okay, so I think, yeah, I had a scene in mind for this, but it's not how the episode has went, so I'm kind of readjusting here. So this is just another downtime sort of thing. Ambrose would probably already be in the lounge. I do imagine that Ambrose is actually a human being and spends time with other people off duty.
We just haven't seen
We
it
just
yet. So
never
now we're
seen it.
seeing it.
Yeah,
Right.
we just don't see it. In fact, I think it would be interesting, at least to start the scene with him talking with Koba and having a conversation with Koba. We don't know what that conversation was, but the scene will pick up with him just patting Koba's shoulder and giving him a curt nod before he turns around and heads out.
Mm-hmm.
And we could figure out if that was an important conversation sometime else, because I like the idea that I want to see Ambrose and Koba working together.
We can do that.
We like that.
Yeah.
But he'll turn around, maybe head to the bar and drop off a glass and turn around and survey the area. And he'll take a bead on Chierka and he'll walk over to that corner, grab a chair from that table, spin it around, and Riker his way on over.
She will clutch her data pad like did you get lost? I don't know why you came. She doesn't say it, but she's like,
That's the look on her face for sure.
yeah, oh yeah, she's terrified. Yeah,
I must say though, when you say Riker your way over, all I can think of is you just keep putting the chair down in front of you, throwing a leg over the chair, moving the chair in front of you, throwing a leg over the chair, moving the chair in front of you. Anyway, go ahead.
That's called Starfleet leapfrog.
Yeah.
Ensign, mind if I join you?
Commander Ambrose, or I forget which is his last name, Captain Arani. Yeah, I mean, you're the commander. You can sit wherever you want. I couldn't stop you. Not that I want to. It's great that you're here, and hi.
Like your promotion there too.
Yeah. That's fine. Hage demoted me last episode, so it's
right.
pulling out.
It evens out.
I just wanted to stop by and say hello. Though if I'm making you uncomfortable, I can leave.
No. I am just
interesting.
I'm more comfortable. In fact, no, I'm less comfortable. I mean, I am exactly as comfortable as I was before you sat down.
Working on anything interesting?
It's the specs for the new 578 sensor strata. Like I know we don't have those yet, but they're going to be coming here, and it's really interesting the things they've done with microbial lens apertures is just phenomenal.
Well, I'm sure you're the one to know about it. I'm sure if it's top of the line, the Europa will be getting it eventually. So, good job studying up on it.
Thanks. I just like I've always liked to read technical manuals.
Well, I was doing some reading of my own. I'll pull a data pad out from somewhere. I was reviewing some logs, and I found something interesting from one of the sensor reports during that battle. Put it down on the table, turn around, and sort of slide it forward.
Oh, I'm not sure what I did, but I'm sorry. What did I do wrong?
Nothing, Ensign. Relax. I wanted to compliment you on your initiative. I don't know if you were off duty or on some other assignment during that battle. We all had our hands full, but you took it on yourself to really refine the sensors in places we needed them to be targeted. And did it quite well. You know your scams.
Thanks. Yeah, no, it was easy. Just had to tune. You see, there's this. There's this. If you calibrate sensor algorithms to, or if you can't, hold on, I don't know. I'm running out of technobabble.
It's fine. I like the fact that it's Chirka trying to explain it to Ambrose in a way that Ambrose is going to understand anyway.
She's barely even trying to explain it in a way he understands.
With Ambrose's one engineering and one science.
Yeah.
I get the impression that she's actually speaking quite coherently at the moment, and Ambrose is just like, this is what Ambrose is hearing.
Yeah. My point is, I'm glad I could help. I'm glad it worked.
Well, it did. I'm sure by now you're aware that we're all feeling the absence of, was it Lieutenant or Lieutenant Commander Cass?
Lieutenant Commander.
Of Lieutenant Commander Cass.
No, Lieutenant.
Shabaraneva. Was it just Lieutenant?
It was Lieutenant.
See, I'm not the only one who screws with ranks.
Yeah. Well, there's not. Okay, Lieutenant. Yeah.
Lieutenant Cass. Yeah.
We're all feeling the absence of Lieutenant Shabaraneva, and well, I know you're already working somewhat in concert with Ensign O'Connor, but we're going to, I don't know how much you've heard about this upcoming mission. We're going to have plenty to keep an eye on, and I can use multiple sets of eyes. I think I'll leave O'Connor up here to deal with all of this, but I could use your key eye for sensors and targeting to help me find some more Klingons should they show up.
Me? There's got to be somebody who's better at that. I just work in the sensor pod. Routine maintenance is.
This is a reward, Ensign. Are you denying my hospitality?
No.
You did a good job. I want to see more of this.
Okay, great. Well, I can definitely accomplish 2 day-saving maneuvers, and I promise you I won't screw it up utterly at all. She looks terrified. Her eyes are just wide.
Carry on, Ensign. Stand up and twirl the chair back around to the table.
I think as he walks away, she brings the data pad and just kind of taps her head with it, in frustration.
I'm sure Chierka was very transparent there, but is Ambrose getting any special empathy reading from her? Other than humiliation and sheer terror?
Yeah. She has clinical anxiety. And you are able to pick up on that. I think you'd be able to pick that up. She was anxious to a almost unreasonable degree. I mean, I tried to put that forward, but your telepathy would definitely pick that up. If anything, she was calm compared to how she was feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, not with that roll, you know nothing.
Yeah. No, that was me piecing together if it was an actual psychological medical thing that he should probably speak to the doctor about. But nope, she's just super nervous and weird because she's an ensign.
Super nervous and weird.
I don't think that's something we have to leave to a roll. I'd be fine with him realizing that it is a medical condition. Yeah.
He'll look into it.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Anybody else have anything else they want to do before we get to the Dinasia system?
No. Who else are we going to put on? Who's going to be on what teams? We should kind of figure that out, maybe. I think.
So, how are we? There's going to be an away team, but Hage also mentioned he wanted a team to stay on Europa for like Klingon hunters if they somehow beam in.
Like anti-boarding patrols, which is
Yeah.
probably pretty standard.
No, I meant like finding Klingons because they would probably come in cloaked. Although,
shit,
I see.
Gotcha.
Finding
boarding
Klingons in the system, not on the ship.
being on the ship, finding Klingons is what I meant.
So are you talking security or are you talking science sensors?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, which is
Gotcha.
why I thought Cherka would be a good fit for that, because that's what I was saying for that. But
I thought you wanted her on the ground team for some reason.
No,
Okay.
I was, but I mean, look.
When
We'll have to wait and see what happens at the system.
When we get a system, you guys can make better decisions from that.
Okay,
so,
that's fine.
all right. So the Europa comes out of warp in the system.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing you note is that there are several smaller Federation ships in the area, like there's what are they called? The Oberths, the ones that blow up real easy. Which clearly they don't, but they always do. There's no berth in the system, and there's a couple of runabouts that are going back and forth. So you're going to be giving aid to the system as well, but there is a ship here that is already giving some aid. You get a quick report. I'm not going to bother going over it, but you get a quick report from the. Hang on one second. I wrote it down. I need to figure out where I put it. And I lost it. Oh, there it is. It is the Copernicus is the name of the ship. I didn't write it down, but okay. I thought I did. Anyway, it is the Copernicus. You get a report from the captain of the Copernicus that the current outbreak is in the northern hemisphere. There so far have been no cases in the southern hemisphere. They're doing their best to create a quarantine, but we have yet to determine what is causing the spread of the virus, of the mutagen. They have quarantined several cities, I guess, cities and villages. There was a Klingon ship in the system a few days ago, but we haven't seen them since. But yeah, that's about it for the most part.
Okay. Which Klingon ship? Did they get a read on it?
They did. It was a modern Klingon ship. The name they got was the IKS Wrath.
Do we know if that one's joined one of the factions yet?
You have not, but so far it appears that the newer ships pretty much have been associated primarily with the Vorkan, the
Duras?
Not the Duras, the other one, the Vorkath family.
Vornak
family. Vornak. I've written down, but I don't have my notes in front of me, so because I'm on other notes. Yeah, the Vornak family.
Gotcha. So if it's anybody, it's probably the Japanese.
Right.
That's what you're saying. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Now we do know that the Vornak are associated with the Duras pretty heavily as well. So it is that faction one way or the other.
Is it Vornak or Varnak? Because I swear I have Varnak throughout the rest of my notes.
It's probably Varnak. Okay. It is spelled Varnak.
Okay.
Varnak.
That's what I had.
I just gotta get back to the notes where it's actually written. So I'll put that as a note in the system in the notes when I get a chance. So the only other thing that they will tell you, that the captain of the Earth will tell you, is that they got contact from the Klingon ship they didn't. The Klingon ship didn't fire on them, but they did get contact from them, and it was a Klingon that went by the name of Morjad, Morjad. And if Ambrose or Hage would like to have a memory of that name, if you don't know what it is off the top of your head, I'm okay with a quick roll. It's not super important, so if you don't get it, it's not a big deal, but...
would politics apply?
Sure.
Hmm.
What role is this?
I'm going to say... Let me get a sheet out here real quick so I can look at a sheet and be sure.
Reason command?
I would say Reason Command or Insight Command could also be okay.
We'll go Insight Command.
I don't know what it was with this new player, but it's so much harder to roll dice. They always keep
Weird.
going off the table.
Oh, you just need to click the things in this on the sheet and make it a little easier. But
Mhm.
All right.
an 18 and a 15 and a 13 and a 17.
That's still one success for
I
me.
think it's one each.
Yep.
All right. So Morjad is one of the sons of Martok. I will give you that from one. I will not give you more than that for just one.
And he contacted the Copernicus
Correct.
and said, ...
Mostly they just got that it was a stalling tactic. He was threatening them, told them to leave the system, that kind of stuff. And the Oberth detected, shortly after that, Oberth detected Klingon transport signatures somewhere in the Northern Hemisphere, and then the ship left and has not been back.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye out, but we won't let that stop our mission. So.
Did the outbreak happen after they detected the Klingon transport signatures or before?
Before.
Okay.
That's the reason the Oberth is here, was to assist in the outbreak. So, although the planetary administrator, Doral, had told the captain of the Copernicus a few times that, had mentioned anyways, that the Klingons have been back and forth. They have been here before.
Okay.
So it is not the first time that the Klingons have been here. So what are you guys going to do?
Well, I think we should head it in system and then launch our away team while scanning around for any possible cloak ships.
Okay.
Any sign
So,
Klingons might still be here.
Knowing that there is something going on planet, you've got a medical emergency on the planet. You've got a potential Klingon force on the planet. You've got the space thing, right? So you've got at least 2 or 3 things you can do that'll help you divide up your away team how you divide up your teams how you wish. So let's say the primary team going down would probably be your team to deal with the outbreak itself, right? So the actual humanitarian side of things. Who do you want to go on that?
Definitely commanded by Desavi. Lieutenant Duffing, I think, is a good choice. I don't know who would be appropriate among Jack's characters. Jack, do you have any preferences?
And as far as my characters, I have to remember that there's more than just Tom and Ambrose. Let's see. To help with a medical emergency,
medical and humanitarian efforts. So it's not just it's also like food supplies and distribution, that kind of stuff.
Paren might be a good choice.
Yeah, I mean, Varen could go. I don't think any of her. There'd be no specific reason for her to go other than she could help distribute supplies.
Right.
She's an archaeologist and an anthropologist.
And a
we've determined
civilian
that
at that. I don't
Yeah.
know that it would make much sense to ask her to do that when we have other crew members that it would make, like, even, random.
we'd been working on the portable holographic technology. It would certainly make some sense to have a logistics expert on the planet, a quartermastering type of logistics expert.
Yeah, Tong maybe too. He's got expertise in replicators, so he could help get the replicators online, help them with any engineering tasks.
You could also not send somebody if you don't want to.
Yeah, I don't need somebody in every plot line. But I feel like I'd rather have Tong on the ship, but also we do have Kostra, so I mean, if there's an engineering problem, Kostra could just take over. Tong is an ensign, so I mean, you order him to go to planet, he goes to planet. I don't particularly have a horse in this race.
I mean, if you don't want anybody down there, we can just say the rest of them are no name.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, like, if Hage is like, hey, take Tong, Dasavi would be all about it. She's taking a shine to him, but
I just want to make sure everybody gets to be involved in what they want to be.
Right. I was thinking more the SSH probably the best bet for that one, but if you don't want to have anybody there, that's fine, because Tong is doing the thing on the ship right now anyway.
We really have portable holographic projectors?
I don't know. Voyager had them, so.
Yeah, but that came from like
that was
the 29th century or something. That was
that's true.
Distant technology.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Brian, what is happening with your camera? You are very bouncy.
Sorry, my leg was shaking.
Got you. Like, are you having
right.
an earthquake?
So that's step one. Let's say, who do we definitely want to leave aboard ship to be able doing the things aboard ship? Obviously, I'm guessing that the captain's planning on staying this time, or do you want the captain to go down?
Yeah, I don't think he'd be much help on the surface, so I think he'll still on the ship.
So we got Hage. We know Tong is doing his own thing, so we're not going to count him at the moment.
Yeah, that was another consideration. Tong kind of has his own thing going on right now.
Yeah. I wanted to do more with Tong and Eva, so.
Yeah.
I think Silva, I don't know if it would be more useful for Silva to shuttle down people or stay aboard ship on the helm, but I could see her doing either.
Okay. Anybody else we want to for sure leave aboard ship?
I would actually have, if Ev's okay with this, have Mills be in charge of the security detail for the whole anti-Klingon detection boarding party.
That's fine.
Don't let the board take over the ship.
We've kind of established through the
yeah.
last few Klingon encounters, that she's been manning those anti-boarding patrols anyway.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah. Koba's probably a part of those patrols too.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if there happens to be a need for fighter craft, which I don't need to shoehorn into every episode, but Jisa is always available for piloting whatever, really, and even, I mean, she has some security as well, so she can pick up a phaser and patrol the halls too if it really comes to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, with her Andorianness, Mills might snag her for hand to hand.
And then the SSH can be available to coordinate the logistics efforts from ship to ground if that's something we have any reason to play out.
Do we want to send any other away teams down?
Well, I think we should Ambrose would point out that we should probably investigate where those Klingon transport signatures are going to, figure out what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree.
So he would man that away team. That's my biggest concern.
Mm-hmm. And who do you want on that one? We want Chirka
on sensors up. Brian, you tell me, would you rather have Koba on the away mission to deal with any Klingon trouble that we come into, or would you rather have Chirka on the away mission to help find any Klingon trouble we might want to get into?
I would rather have Chirka on the away mission. Chirka would rather be on the ship, but I would rather her be on the away
That's what I was leaning towards. That's what I was originally getting at when I talked to her in the lounge, because I assumed that we were going to have a security away team go down somewhere.
Perfect.
So, yeah, I'll take Chirka, and then I think if you're okay with it, we leave Koba up on the ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else that wants to go down there?
I know we said Mills was going to be on the ship leading the patrols, but I think maybe she should go with the away team. Or O'Connor, so that way they have a science person with them. Well, but then again, they got Chirka right now, so.
I don't think we necessarily need to have. I was trying to think if there was a place really for O'Connor to be. I don't think you really.
Well, we still need somebody manning sensors on the bridge.
Yeah. Let's have her on the bridge. I think with the precedent that we've set, it makes more sense to keep Mills doing the anti-boarding patrols.
All right. I just wanted to make sure you could go down on this away team if you wanted to.
This would be a really good chance for Dr. Marr to go.
Yeah.
Right.
We could bring the bartender.
I was looking at the. I mean,
He's been lurking in a couple other scenes. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah.
The bartender or Marr?
No, the doctor, or the bartender. I don't know if you on my end. I keep bringing him up and having him lurk behind stuff. Anytime we're in the lounge.
I saw.
I like his lurking eyes. If we don't have anybody else to go down to that,
I'd say we have those two, and then just a handful of yellow shirts.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's put these two over here.
It's fine by me. You two are very different from me. I want to have a character involved with literally everything, but that's just me.
No, I'm good with it. Desavi would definitely insist on either Silva or Shajin running runabouts or transports or whatever.
Is there any particular reason we can't just use transporters?
No.
Desavi has a paranoia about transporters, and we've already had an incident where she said we shouldn't take transporters because this is a bad plan. They always get knocked offline, and then they got knocked offline and we got trapped.
True.
I've watched this show.
Do we want to tie up one of our player character pilots, or do we want to just? I mean, we have plenty of pilots.
At the moment, I'm going to assume that there are ships going back and forth. It can be PCs or not, as the scene is determined. I don't know that that's going to come up, but I don't know how this is going to go down. So, remembering that you don't have as many shuttles as you used to have. So, and fighters are really no good for this kind of work.
I assume the bulk of this operation will be via transporters, and we're really just humoring Desavi with a few shuttlecraft.
That's fine.
Yeah, there's probably also specific medical supplies that shouldn't be transported for molecular integrity, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But, for the most part, you just the ship is doing what the ship do. You have a well-trained Starfleet crew that knows what they're supposed to be doing, and I assume that's what's going on.
This isn't relevant here, but just for my own curiosity, can Luna classes land?
No.
Okay.
I do not believe this. I am 90% sure that this ship cannot land and then take off again.
Okay.
I will look that up though, but I'm pretty sure I checked that it could not. Because I was kind of hoping it could, but then I'm like, I don't need to make it that much like Voyager. However, if you want to know where I got the specs from, it's the techspecs.ac, whatever it is, a call to duty, techspecs.acalltoduty Luna. I can throw a link up in the thing you guys can see where I derived the original specs from for the more advanced like stuff the
see.
ship can do.
Yeah, I haven't found that.
Yep, that's where I got most of it, and because that steals a lot directly from like the next gen tech manual. So I took a lot of information from that.
According to this, there is a landing mode.
What?
I'll look into this later because
I'm pretty sure it can't take off again.
Okay,
is what it comes down to.
Gotcha.
Like it can land, but once it lands, it's done.
It lives there.
It lives there, yeah. So
right, yeah, gotcha.
On that note, as you enter system, I need a science roll from O'Connor, and we'll start out on the bridge with the other people getting ready to beam down. Not yet having beamed down, but getting ready to beam down. I want to make a quick science roll.
You want reason science?
Reason and science difficulty is going to be 2.
Okay. So that is a total of 15 for her. I'm going to guess she doesn't have any applicable. Nah, probably not. Focus is here. That hits.
Okay, 2 successes. You're not detecting any Klingon ships in system. You're not detecting any sensor ghosts from your augmented sensor readings, which I could roll for the ship. Give you one, just in case you get one more. Boop. Nope, that's not how that works. There we go. A 3, so that counts as 2 more successes.
Nice.
However, what you do detect is that there are a number of Klingons in a cave system in the northern hemisphere. However, you're having a hard time detecting them. You can detect them for certain. They're there. You're getting probably 6 to 8 life signs. It's hard to say because there's some kind of energy source that is blocking a clear sensor image. You are not detecting any means of access to that system, that cave system, from the surface.
Is it blocking transporters as well?
It is not, but it would be a difficult transport.
Okay.
I say we give it a shot. If there's no way for them to get out of the cave anyway, it's worth a shot.
How deep is this cave? Let me refine that question. Can we target the surface and blow an entrance into this cave system? Should we need to? Not immediately. In emergencies, can we blow a hole into the cave system?
It would take a few seconds for the phasers to do it without killing everyone, but yes, you could probably do it.
Cool.
However, whatever the energy signature down there could be volatile.
Yeah.
There's some sort of energy source in that cave as well.
That would be a contingency plan, not our initial infiltration method.
Right.
Right.
That's a we're gonna die anyway plan. Go ahead and do that.
Just Kool-Aid Man right into this cave system.
Right. Oh yeah.
I think Jored is going to go down to the transporter room, and he's going to roll up his sleeves as he is prone to do. He's going to go to Tom and he's going to say, "I figured I'd give you a hand with these with transporting these Klingons."
Hi, Captain. Right. You using the transporters. I'm sure you know how to. You got this.
So
you're gonna transport the Klingons out, or you're gonna transport yourselves in? Because you made it sound like you're going to transport the Klingons out.
Yeah, that's what I figured we would be doing. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Jack, do you disagree?
Do you, as you are leaving the bridge to head down there, do you voice what you're doing?
I mean, I think Onia is involved in getting her stuff down, or getting down to the surface at this point.
Mm-hmm.
If you think it'd be interesting for them to have a scene, we can have her notice.
I was thinking less Dasabi and more O'Connor might point something out.
Okay, go ahead.
Because we're on, like, she senses that, gives you the report, and you're just like, all right, I'm gonna go down to the transporter room and help Tong get
But
these Klingons
O'Connor's
out of
going to
there.
have the captain's chair too, because Ambrose is setting up an away team. Dasabi's doing her own
Oh,
thing. Hage is leaving.
balls.
We're going to have an ensign in the chair again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a duty. Like
I'm making fun. It makes
it's
sense.
literally
No,
just that
it's fantastic.
he's going to be in the transporter room like 50 feet away.
All right. So what was the discussion as he's leaving the bridge?
Sir, might we exacerbate things with the Klingons if we just transport them out without any warning?
Well, the way I see it, there's the Klingon ship left them here. So either they've been marooned here by their Klingon patriots and would be grateful for the rescue, or this is some kind of trap and it's best if we get them out of there so we can deal with them on our own turf. Either way, I want to get them out of there. If we ended up interrupting a Klingon picnic, well, we'll just have to be apologetic.
Yes, sir.
As you were, Ensign. And then he'll head down to the transporter room, roll up his sleeves.
Okay. I'm going to assume that when you're going to transport these Klingons, you're going to have the security team there to greet them.
Oh, yeah. You know, we'll put force fields over the...
Would this be Ambrose's away team, or would this just be a general security force? Because this is not the plan according to how Ambrose understood it.
No.
It's not how I thought it was going to be. So
plan.
I'm going to assume that Ambrose, Chirka, Kostra, or I'm sorry,
I mean,
Koba, and Mills are in the room.
When we made that plan, we did not know where that there were Klingons down there, that we knew where they were.
Right.
Yeah. I think maybe the deal with the Klingons team should probably be in the transporter room.
Yeah. I'm going to assume that in the transport room now are Mills, Koba, Ambrose, Chirka, some security guys, and there's not a lot of more room in there, so that's pretty much it. Tong, because Tong is in there, and the captain. So it's one bomb, game over.
Klingon wizard cast fireball.
I will say, I think the transporters won't transport a bomb. Like,
usually you can tell. Yeah, if they've got weapons, you can usually disarm them. So transporting them out is going to be a much more difficult task than transporting in, because of a number of factors. So with that in mind,
but before you determine that, let me also clarify what's going on with our momentum, because I know Ev just rolled something and got a little bit more, and Tom got 6 successes previously.
Yeah,
and I don't know how much transferred over.
You guys should have 6, I think.
Okay.
Mills will set up not only the various assorted appropriate shields and force fields and whatnot, but also including in there the Borg quarantine stuff that Ambrose Esser to set up in the med bay for this as well, just in case we have more of them.
And I assume you're putting up containment fields and all that other stuff. So, okay. We may be taking a break after this so I can figure out what we're going to do with the story. Yeah. But
because we skipped 7 paragraphs again.
Well,
if you need to retcon, feel free to retcon.
No. I'll make it work.
I think this is great. I want to see where this goes.
This may just get really ugly, is all. So let's say the difficulty was going to be 3 to beam down. I'm going to say to beam up the 6 life forms that you can currently detect, which may or may not be all of them, but the 6 that you can currently detect, difficulty is going to be 5 because of the energy signature that's down there and the fact that they are something about their physiology is making them harder to lock onto. The reason for that being probably the cybernetic technology they've got. Can be done. Ship does assist. Tom does assist.
if we detect that, I feel like Amber, like these aren't just normal Klingons. If we detect that technology, I'm sorry, Brian. If I'm sorry, I'm making this more difficult than you want it to be. But Ambrose would be like, sir, if these are the same Klingons that just ran through the hospital ship, we do not need to be inviting them on board, first fields or not.
I'm not gonna fight you on this, Ambrose. I'm headed. I'll head into the other room. Keep me updated.
Okay, I could make it work. I got this. But
there's just so many security concerns going through Ambrose's head. He was going to let first dozen or so slide, but as soon as that came up, he's like, nope, Borg parts not on the ship, not on this ship.
My assumption was that they might not be hostile. If we know that they're the
these are. As soon as you get a lock on them, you can tell these are clearly augmented.
Okay, that changes the matrix of risk there. So
okay, yeah, okay. All right. Well, with that note, I think
have we thoroughly confused you, Jeff?
No, I'm good.
Right.
I actually came up with a solution to my dilemma as to what was going to happen if they come on board ship. So now I just have to go back to the original plan. All right. So Tong is going to beam down Ambrose, Chirka, and company.
Chirka is going to be like, wait a second. We know that these are augmented Borg hybrid Klingons, right? Why are we bringing them here?
We're not anymore.
Right. No, we just covered that.
Wait, hold on.
But good point.
Out of character. She's just worried. I'm in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to derail the plans. I'm just having her be.
Yeah, no, I think everybody's on board with that one. I think
Gotcha.
out of game, I think we've come to the realization that the Klingons are not coming here. We're going to them.
Okay, I missed that part.
Okay.
But yeah, we can do that. All right.
Unless you really, really want them to come here.
No.
Because I can make that work.
If it works better for the story for us to go down, that makes more sense too. It's more cinematic.
It's a little bit more cinematic, but I can go either way with it because oh my god, that would change the dynamic of what I was going to do, and it would make it so much more gruesome.
Oh god.
Yeah. we don't know their tactical capabilities. We don't know if there's any more down there. We don't know what that signal is and what it could do to a transporter. We don't know. I mean, there's so many factors.
I can have fun with that.
Yeah.
So let's assume that you're just beaming down, unless you really want them to come up. At which point the difficulty is going to be 3 to beam down, because you're just normal people. So there is still interference from the energy signal. I'm going to increase the I'm going to increase the threat range by 1. So we 1920, and I will tell you that a complication may result in fewer people arriving than originally planned.
Oh.
So I assume you're going to send down 4 or 5, probably 4 security officers with you, plus the 2 of you.
Yeah, whatever would be standard for an away team like this.
Yeah.
4 seems about logical.
Sure.
So go ahead and make a roll, Tong. If Hage is still there and wants to make an assist, he can.
Yeah.
The ship does not help for some reason today.
Control engineering?
Control and engineering.
Oh my god.
Difficulty is 3, and your threat range is 1920.
Tong is going to spend one of those momentum.
Sure.
To get another dice. Complication range 2. Obvious focus in transporters.
Nice.
Hage assists successfully. And net 4 successes, so 5 successes total. So you could have transported them up. Look at that.
The ability to do so is never in question.
No, just
wisdom.
I when this is over, I want to talk about that.
This is going to be a good after show.
I came up with a good plan for what would happen if that happened. You beam down successfully. When you arrive, you and your team are in a large where you actually land is a rough-hewn stone chamber. However, shortly ahead of you, you can see what looks like a very clearly constructed, very old metallic walls, like, it's typical set dressing type walls you'd see in a Star Trek episode.
Star Trek.
Yeah. The technology is very unusual. None of you have ever seen this before. And you do not see Klingons immediately. I would assume you would have made the call not to beam down the middle of them.
Right.
So it's a man-made cave that goes into some sort of facility, is what you're saying?
Correct. And it looks like it's a recently, like the stone that's here looks to be actually, you know what, Chirka, go ahead and make me a science roll on the stone and surrounding facades.
Okay. Does this also, tell you what, can I just do a science roll to scan the area and then ask questions?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was going to go with.
Yeah, okay. Because I also want to ask about the technology there.
Yeah, that was part of that's the facades part.
I just rolled one die. Hold on. Oh, snap.
So was that 3 successes?
Yeah, and that was a sensors roll. So I get bonus momentum as well. So
okay. Difficulty was only going to be 1, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, right? 3, 4, 3. You've got three questions. The first thing I'm going to give you is that the technology there is definitely not Klingon, for sure.
Okay.
The stone that has been hewn from the cave is recent and appears to actually have been transported. Like the stone itself was just beamed out.
Oh, I see. Ooh, it looks like this cave was hollowed out by transporters. I guess that's one way to do it.
Yep. That's the rough hewn part. The actual technology appears to be very, very old, though. Very, very old. You have 3 questions. What do you want to know?
What does the technology seem to be for?
It appears to be what little bit you can see from where you are right now and all that. It appears to be some sort of control center.
Okay. I think we're in some kind of control center, Commander.
Yeah. The energy you're reading is consummate with some sort of possibly transport system.
This can't be right. This seems to be some kind of transporter. And then I'll also ask, am I able to detect where are the Klingons? That is my question.
Farther into the technological side of the cave.
Okay. I will tell the commander exactly.
You're getting that there are multiple, probably 2 or 3 levels of this facility. It spans a grand total of probably 10 or 12 rooms.
Are there more Klingons than we expected?
Yeah, this close up, you're getting there are 8 total Klingons.
Okay. Commander, I'm detecting 8 Klingons. Looks like this is a multi-leveled structure. I can't make any promises there aren't more either.
You have 2 more questions. You have one more question.
Is it Iconian in make? Does it match the profiles for Iconian technology?
I'm not sure to start. Would that be common Starfleet knowledge? I guess it probably would be pretty close. Yes, it does.
Okay. Commander, this is going to sound ridiculous, but I think this might be Iconian technology.
That's bad news. Okay. Good to know.
And then I'll bank the other one. No, I mean, we don't have any momentum.
I think you got all 3 of them, actually. Yeah,
yeah.
You got
Unless,
all 3.
Unless you have any questions for Chierka that I can answer. Or no, wait, I thought I had one more. Never mind.
No.
Okay, never mind.
And I don't know why. Did somebody use one just now? No, you did not.
No, I did not.
Yeah.
Oh, right. It was used up before that, and then you got them all back because you rolled really well on the transporter roll.
Yeah.
Okay. that's the information you have so far. What you gonna do, Ambrose and company?
We determined that normal stun setting does not work on these guys. We have to be set to a decent kill setting, right?
Shoot to kill.
Correct. Shoot to kill.
Mhm.
Yeah. Unfortunately, all phasers set to kill. Stun doesn't work.
Are you taking anything other than type 2 phasers? Or type 1s, whatever your standard issue is.
I think if we knew there were Klingons down here, I think we would have brought phaser rifles.
Yeah.
I mean, if we knew that there were augmented Klingons, I should say.
Yeah. I'm going to give you the threat because Ambrose will take a type 3 any chance he gets.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I got it out of the way now.
He'd have one mounted into his arm if he could.
I mean, we can make that happen.
It's a biosynthetic, not an actual.
I want to play Cyberpunk Star Trek, damn it.
I think Sheriko would still be using a dustbuster.
Mm-hmm.
She'd have the dustbuster in one hand, tricorder in the other.
So that was
all right.
That was your team. Go ahead.
I don't think we should engage these guys if we don't have to. There's 5 of us in Cherka, no offense, and 8 of these augmented Klingons. I'd rather not pit those numbers. I'd rather not roll the dice on those numbers if we don't have to. We should get a scan of this technology, try to figure out what that energy source here is, and try to determine what they are doing. And then we can contact the ship and see if anything changes.
Commander, I hesitate to bring this up, but I have an idea. What if we just collapse?
Don't hesitate. Go ahead.
This chamber seems pretty delicate. Maybe we can just collapse it on top of them, taking out the technology along with them.
With how hardy these Klingons are, we can't be sure that even that would be successful, and we don't know how much deeper this facility goes. It's a good backup plan.
Commander, permission to be terrified.
Permission denied. Keep your shit together. Move out.
Thanks.
I'm gonna go ahead and end this there because I have to get up super early in the morning, and I like that. I like that line as an end. And it reminds me of an episode, the movie Medicine Man.
Mm.
When this is over, I promise you can cry all you want. So, with a spot to end right there, where we're about to have Ambrose and company go deep into an Iconian cave controlled by augmented badass Klingons. We don't know where the Europa's left off, although I do know where it's left off. We'll go ahead and call it there for the night so that I can actually get a good night's rest.
Sounds like a plan.
So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and do our wrap-up questions. What moment stands out most to you this evening?
I really liked Ambrose doing the backwards chair turn. I don't know. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. Trying to be Mr. Cool.
Well, it reminds me of Captain America when he was trying to be it was very much a Captain America trying to act casual kind of thing.
Captain America telling the kids how to be good people.
Exactly.
I liked it. Anybody else have a moment that stands out most to them?
I think the kind of confirmation of Iconian tech that shows that Romulan from a million years ago was maybe not so crazy.
It's like I planned some things out.
Disbelief.
No, I'm sure it's coincidence.
Anybody else got anything? You got anything, Jack?
There was a lot of good stuff this episode. Unfortunately, it takes me just a little bit to disconnect from my characters because I have my own scenes going through my head.
Sure.
And I want to compliment other people and just not be like, oh, everything I did was awesome.
Right. Everything is awesome.
I am super awesome.
I did like Dasavi's interaction with the EMH. I did like how that went, and the level of snark there, and the sheer, what is it? Just begrudgingness, disdain for having a call on him was evident.
I was all for bringing the SSH down with Dasavi's crew just because. All right, let's continue annoying her with these blasted holograms.
I would love to have the SSH be available more, but I don't think it makes sense to have portable holo emitters just yet.
Yeah,
because I don't
fair.
think, according to this timeline, that Voyager has made it back, right? So we couldn't have even reverse engineered the
right.
the
I'm
future
not entirely
set.
certain Voyager's coming back in my timeline.
All right.
So somewhere along the line, Janeway's got to answer for her crimes. Who best embodied their character?
Kirka.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was going to say Teketh, but none of you know that.
I think Dasavi.
I did a great job not playing Teketh at all today.
He was lurking. I had him lurking.
Yes.
I never seen.
You did a great job being subtle.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. I'm most subtle when I don't play my character.
So what you were saying, Chirka, go ahead. Sorry. Someone was going to elaborate more on the Chirka thing, I thought.
Oh, just the anxiety and the manicness and the little baby ensignness of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What moment of role play best exemplifies another person's character to you? I liked Dasavi and Dafine looking at, going through the stages of concern when they discovered the technology and DNA of the Klingons. I thought that was a good moment for them. We don't see a lot from Dasavi, so
I really dug Jessa being excited at the beginning of the session.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you did a really good job setting that whole scene up, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I also liked Tong being concerned that he was being woken up and that he's an ensign being woken up by the computer.
What's going on?
Oh God, there's someone higher ranked than me that can be dealing with this. What did you or your character learn today? Anything new?
I mean, we learned a little bit more about the Klingons.
Mm-hmm.
Not much, though.
You learned the Iconian thing.
Right.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the biggest thing that Dasavi learned.
Mm-hmm.
Ambrose learned that mentoring Chirka is going to be a lot more work than he initially thought it was going to be.
What did you see from another character or player you'd like to see more of? I have taken notes for this one for myself. I really liked the microbial lens aperture module, which was a good bit of technobabble that was seemingly right off the fly from Brian. I thought that was really good. Tong also had some good technobabble when he discovered the not just technobabble, but the whole linking technologies together when he discovered the log had something to do with the replicator.
Yeah, the replicators are right by the Yeah,
that was pretty good. I liked the easy flow of technobabble for this episode. That was really good. Anything else? Anyone? Go ahead.
Yeah, it hadn't occurred to me until this session, but I would be interested in seeing more empathy powers, like either of you, honestly, with Chierka, because so I didn't want to make this a thing, but I definitely picture her as having some kind of neurodivergence going on. And I think that'd be interesting to explore how like empathetic feelings deal with that kind of thing. Empathy, telepathy. I don't know what the
empathetic beings. I got what you're going for.
Yeah, interacts with that kind of thing. So it was interesting to be able to put that forward, and I would like to you asked about like, is it something worth looking into? I would love to explore that a little. So
Yeah. I think we've definitely got opportunity after we're done dealing with our cave Klingons here, for Ambrose to bring that to Dasavi, and Dasavi then to go explore that further with Chirka.
I will point out I did write up all my characters' medical histories like months ago, so feel free to consult that.
I like seeing Ambrose connecting more with the crew. I like.
Yeah.
I think that's a callback, a little bit more of a callback to the early Ambrose, where he was trying to be. He's wrestling with his own humanity. We've seen Ambrose now for a while kind of be, the "I told you so." I don't want to say robotic, but definitely like militant. His softer side hasn't been seen, but when the first couple episodes when we were on Bajor and DS9,
softer side. Ambrose has no softer side.
Yeah. I think on DS9 and during the Bajor stuff, I think we saw a little bit more of Ambrose trying to reconcile the nature of Starfleet with the experience of Ambrose.
Yeah, so. And in one of my giant walls of text on Discord I sent throughout last week, that's basically the gist of what I want to get Ambrose back to.
Right.
Love it.
So,
love it.
Oh, that was a good opportunity this session. I thought we got some of that.
Yeah.
It didn't really come up, but I would love to see more Ambrose and Koba at some point.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Anything else anybody wants to see from another player or character that you want to see more of?
Right. I'd love to see Mills get to do something this adventure.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a while.
I mean, I'm certain we will.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Don't wish for that too quickly, because we're gonna have weird cyberborg Klingon. Yeah, right.
It almost happened for sure. Like I
so bad.
I would have absolutely allowed you guys to beam them up. You'd have had them I have no way for them to get out of that situation. Like we've established that they don't have or haven't yet shown the technology to be able to do the shields or to walk through shields like containment, that kind of stuff. So because I hardly hadn't thought about that. Thank you, Jack. That's going to come up later.
Yep. Threat generator.
Yeah. They have not yet shown the technology, so I'm assuming they don't have that technology yet. But as you discover more as you go into the next session, I think you'll see what my plan might have been had you actually beamed some up. It would have been fun.
I do like the scene that is running through my headcanon of Mills and Jisa fighting back to back, like hand to hand, a pair of Klingons. Like I'm down for this.
I would love for Koba to be there as well.
Yeah, for sure.
If you could change one thing about this session, what would it have been?
I do want to elaborate a little on what the reason I didn't want Chirka in the meeting is really more of a thematic thing than anything else. Because right now I'm trying to make her literally as far from the captain as humanly possible.
Right.
For future events. So
I got what you were going for.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to elaborate on that a little. So I get that you guys are completely right that logistically she should probably be taking some more responsibility here, but I would rather her be taking that responsibility off screen, so that way it still has some contrast.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Thanks. If you could change one thing about the session, what would it be? Anybody else?
I think just figuring out the tech crap earlier in the day, because we got about a 20-minute late start.
Yeah, that was totally on me. That was just honestly, that was just me making stupid mistakes I didn't need to make.
Things happen, is what it is.
So.
You've been working too many hours.
Yeah. 24 on, 12 off, 12 on, 12 off, 24 on, 12 off, 12 on, 12 off. It's a lot.
That's a lot. At a very intensive job.
Yeah. And it has been an intensive week because people don't know how to use fireworks properly.
No. Because people shouldn't use fucking fireworks.
I don't know about where you guys are, but it was just insane this year here.
Yeah. Member of the Columbus Blue Jackets, a 24-year-old member of the Columbus Blue
Mhm.
Jackets, died by being hit in the chest by a mortar.
Jesus.
It wasn't in my area, but it was my company that transported the guy. So,
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
The fact that these are still legal, I don't understand it.
Yeah. No, I don't get it. I think it's I was talking to a friend of mine about this last night. You want fireworks, you can have sparklers and little bottle rockets and those little carbon snaky things, and everything else gets left to the damn professionals.
Yeah.
I agree on a moral level, but on a personal fun level, I really like blowing stuff up. So I get it. I do. You got to be smart, and sometimes
too many people aren't.
Sometimes I can't get OBS to work right with streams, so there's probably no way I should be using mortars. But I
don't know. I have very few friends.
Those are two definitely totally comparable skills.
Yeah, totally. I like fireworks. We used to play tag with Roman candles, so I'm definitely the kind of person who shouldn't be using them.
Oh,
so.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, if I were to trust anyone with fireworks, it would be you. But I take all of that back.
I mean, I was like,
I don't think you're allowed to have a lighter.
I was
That's
like,
the problem. I don't think the people who would play with fireworks are the people we should trust with fireworks. Is the problem.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a complicated subject, and maybe we'll explore that in an episode of Star Trek sometime. I don't know.
I can see it.
Gonna have Ambrose get hit in the chest by a mortar and be like, all right, everybody, this is what happened. This is why Kostra can't use them.
Yep.
Koba is not allowed to have fireworks. Chirka, stop with the lighter, put it down. Chirka's rules, I suspect Chirka will probably get burned by a sparkler.
Yeah.
Eva's just like sucking the oxygen out of everything. Stop setting me on fire.
For your own benefit, I am going Cyberdyne Protocols 101. You're just all dead now. All right. I don't have anything else. You guys have anything else you want to bring up tonight?
No. It was
we are clearly off next week.
Yes.
We should be back the week after that. I will say that is going to be somewhat tentative, just because that is the week we're planning on getting back to opening the store. I have every intention of being here, and I will know Monday for sure whether or not that's going to change. It's just going to depend on how much time we get and what we're going to do as far as getting books on the shelves, because we need to be open before the end of the month, and we're a little behind, and we're taking a week-long vacation, which I shouldn't be doing. But just the way the schedule worked out with the shop being the hard construction being finished, and now we're here. So, I don't have anything else. I thought this was a good session. I'm looking forward to where it goes in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I added that Tong storyline in this morning. I wrote the rest of this. Yeah, I wrote the rest of the story about 2-3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. The Tong thing came to me this morning while I was in the shower. I'm like, you know what I need to do? I need to have a Tong thing.
I definitely want to see more Tong Eva, because I like the Tong Eva relationship, and I really want to get Tong to make Eva her like a ship's avatar.
Yeah.
So,
I also realized that I didn't have anything for Eva to do, and Eva was a fairly significant portion of the earlier stories, and I wanted to get a little bit more of her in there just to remind everybody that she's a thing.
I've got a thing for Eva and O'Connor when we're not potentially beaming Klingons places, because I do want O'Connor to work on a big red button, and I've got some library scenes that I want to play out with that.
Yeah, I need to see what I need to figure out what I want Eva to do with that, because I don't think Eva's going to be okay with that.
No.
So that'll be a fun moral conflict.
I think that's
good place Janet protocols.
I think that's a good way. I think that's a good way to rope in the captain too. I would like to do more with him and Eva as well, because he helped design her, and I feel like they really interacted.
Yeah, we can do a lot more with this kind of stuff. I have not been writing Eva into the story as much as I had originally planned to, just because I keep forgetting she's a character. So she's not one of you guys, so I'm not focusing on her.
I like her in the background. I don't know if I want her to be in the foreground all the time.
No, but to be able to have interactions with her, like what we're doing with Tong right now.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, roll credits.